All right, welcome, and thank you for joining me for this short recording where I'm going to talk about my no-fee transactional funding, and in particular, how that's even possible, the concept of no-fee transactional funding. My name is Cameron Dunlap, and I'm your host, and I'm the creator of no-fee transactional funding, and believe me, that was a big market disruptor. And it's a new program, and I'm very excited about it because what we're doing is really changing people's lives in a very profound way, not just by providing the funding, but by doing it with literally no fees. So I know that for some, this sort of comes across as just too good to be true. It sounds too good to be true, and therefore you sort of shut down and you think, no, it's not possible, and then you move on. Well, it not only is it possible, but it's something we've been doing now very successfully, and it is a new business model for us. We used to charge fees, but then we stopped, and I'm going to explain that to you right now. But before I do, let me just give you a brief rundown on who I am. I've been full-time in the real estate investing business since 1993, so that's a long time. And in that time, I've done hundreds and hundreds of deals. And along the way, I actually started in 1995 teaching proven strategies and creating real powerful tools. So a long time with that as well. And today I basically have two businesses. One where I have my assets where I buy, sell, rehab, develop, own, manage all sorts of real estate, a significant portfolio. And then I have the other side of my business, which is where we create powerful tools and strategies so that I, first and foremost, and then my clients can do more deals more easily and make more money. So I'm sort of my own customer first, if you will, which is unusual, but it has worked very well for us, and we really are profound in what we provide for our clients. I've been funding deals for my clients since 2009. That's a long time, and you'll notice by that date that it was shortly after the big collapse of real estate that we got into this because of the need that existed in the marketplace. It was our clients who presented a very clear need, and it was then that I decided to get in the business. I've been married since 1993 to my first and last wife. Her name is Helen, and I have one daughter, Nicole, and I don't ever do training without giving those two credit where credit's due. They are my big why, if you will. So here's a quick spreadsheet kind of showing you the difference between fee funding and no fee funding. What you're looking at on the left is the name of the client, and then to the right, the property location, the amount of money we funded, and the exact profit that the client made. And we know exactly what our clients make because we see the closing statements on both sides, and that allows us to know, what you're making to the penny. So that's very exciting, as you can imagine, being me, to see the difference that we're making in people's lives and see it to the penny, to quantify it to the penny. Now, under the old model, there was a funding fee, and it ran about 2% or 2 points, depending on how long the money was out for, but roughly 2 points. And that was very common, still does remain common in the marketplace, although I question whether doing it today would be compliant. But, so there you go. There's the fee. So the green column is the net profit after the client paid our fee. And now, today, under the no-fee funding model, that right-hand column turns to additional profit. So now you've got a bigger profit margin, which allows you to either make more or be more competitive by outbidding your competitor because your margin's fatter than theirs, or some combination of both, but either is a really, really great thing. And just as a quick aside, this particular client here told me a great story about how that check for 40 grand turned a very unsupportive spouse around and into his biggest cheerleader in one fell swoop. And I'm sure you can imagine that if you were, and I'm sure some of you watching this have unsupportive spouses and significant others and can relate to how a check like that might turn them into a cheerleader as well. Also, this one here, Eloise, she had her daughter was going to the prom, and her daughter wanted a real fancy prom dress that Eloise couldn't afford. Well, she got this deal done and banked that $10,800 and had good news for her daughter, and boy, I'll tell you, that made both their days, as you can imagine. So really exciting stuff we're doing, changing a lot of people's lives and funding deals for people who couldn't otherwise do the deal because they don't have the funding themselves. So, basically it comes down to this. Without our funding, our clients wouldn't have made a dime because they couldn't have possibly done the deal. So then the big question, and frankly why we're here, is why would you fund my deals without charging any fees? Why would you do that? Well, the why frankly comes down to those three words right there, the Dodd-Frank Act. The Dodd-Frank Act. One of the biggest, farthest reaching, overreaching laws in recent history with unintended consequences that go beyond compare. This thing was created by these two bozos, Chris Dodd and Barney Frank, and I don't have time right now, but if we get together at my Vacant House and Foreclosure Summit, I'll talk to you about why the gentleman on the right there, Barney Frank, had more to do with the housing collapse in 2008 than any other single human being. But here's the thing, this giant law really kind of got me nervous because it applies to the lending industry, so I decided to read it. And it was a lot of, mumbo jumbo, but there was some stuff in there that really applied very directly to me and the type of funding that we do. And basically it talks about preventing lenders from overcharging their borrowers. And, we don't do that. I mean, think about it. If you were going to make $20,000 on a deal and I was going to charge you $2,000 to fund it, would you object to paying $2,000 out of the 20? So your profit's 18. Would you object to paying $2,000? To me, if you didn't have the money or any other way to do it, and I funded the deal, which put $18,000 in your pocket, of course you wouldn't. No one ever did. Everybody loved us, and 2 points is a pittance. It's nominal. However, if you take that 2 points or 2% for the use of the money on a same day or next day transaction, and you extrapolate that out to an annual rate of return or an annual interest rate, and all of a sudden it goes very high. And that was when I really got upset and nervous. In fact, I frankly decided on the day that I read this law that I was out of the funding business because of this overreaching, piece of legislative action by people who don't know the first thing about how to run a business and are career politicians. That's the kind of stuff that really gets me wound around an axle when I've got career politicians who think they know, better about how I should run my business. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's like me marching into my doctor's office and telling him how to fix my ailment. What kind of a jerk does that? Sadly, though, that's how our government runs. So I got really upset and kind of went into a bit of a funk. But then I said, all right, Cam, snap out of it. You've dealt with other roadblocks in the past with real estate and regulatory industry agencies and all that. And so, there's got to be a creative solution to this. So I got to thinking, and I came to the conclusion, pretty simple, that if I charged no fees, then no one could ever accuse me of charging too much. So that was the path that I decided to take. I just needed to apply a healthy dose of creativity to figure out how I could possibly do that. And so that brings us to the next question, which is, Cam, how can you fund my deals without charging any fees and stay in business? Well, I did a careful analysis, and I looked back over the years, and it occurred to me that the law of averages really comes into play. So I'd have some clients who we funded a lot of deals for. In fact, we're funding a deal literally right now as I'm recording this for a client that we've funded probably 20 or 25 deals for just in the last 12 months. And then there are others for whom we fund a smaller number. So we have our sort of power super users, and then we have our lighter or less demanding users. And so I looked at that and I said, gee, if I could get everyone to pay a nominal setup charge and then charge enough so that at the end of the year I could make a reasonable profit, well then maybe that would work. So that's what I did. I created a nominal one-time setup fee where the value received frankly makes the decision an absolute no-brainer, which is why this program has been so wildly popular, although it hasn't been out for long. In fact, this is a pilot program that I have to watch real closely to see, if my projection plays out. And I know my business pretty well, and I'm confident that the projection will play out as I expect. But if I find I'm wrong, well, then I'll just simply raise that setup fee or charge. And but when you get on board now, that won't affect you because you're grandfathered and you're locked in. So this is why I can only take a small handful of people into the program, compared to the zillion that I easily could. I don't want a gazillion people in it. And think about it. We're talking about no fee funding here. I could easily get that, but I don't want it for a couple of big reasons that I'll get to in a minute. But so I only want a few folks in this at any given time so that I don't overload my support system and I don't compromise the quality of the support that we provide for our clients. That's a big deal to me. So it's useful for you to understand that mine is a boutique business. It's not a big business. It's a great business. And mostly because we only work with a small number of clients, and as a result, we're able to take much better care of them and treat them as, individuals, people, as friends. And I'm just not willing to compromise on that. So that's another part of what makes this work. We don't take a zillion people into it. We work with a very small clientele. And the bottom line is the quality of our service equals the quality of the customer experience. And that is critical to me. So now understand, though, that this is not hard money lending. This is not rehab lending. This is for your wholesale deals. This is same day, next day, transactional funding. But the good news is it's not a loan at all. It's in fact funding. And so your credit, your income, your assets, your job status, none of that matters to me. I'm not going to ask for any of that information at all. None of that matters. And believe me, with a hard money loan, it sure does. But what does make this work is you need to have a committed cash buyer lined up and ready to go so that we can the A to B transaction fires off and the B to C transaction fires off. So it all works as a result of you having that committed cash buyer lined up and ready to go. And we primarily focus on single family houses, although we will fund land deals or if you got a fourplex that you want to wholesale to another investor, no problem. But typically we do this on single family houses. That's what we find our clients mostly focus on when they're wholesaling. And in fact, entry level single family houses are the sweet spot. We fund 100% of the purchase price, including closing costs, which, by the way, hard money lenders don't, and we'll provide you with the funding for an unlimited number of deals for 1 full year. So you've got, for this nominal setup charge that I'll explain in just a minute, you've got my no-fee funding on an unlimited number of transactions for 1 full year. Think about the value of that. So, normally, under normal circumstances, there'd be an application fee of some kind. There'd be points or interest, certainly. There might be a prepayment penalty that could add up to a lot. And many transactional funding businesses charge a minimum fee where if the percentage of the amount funded falls below some minimum, well, they charge you the minimum. Well, we don't do any of that. There are no fees whatsoever. This really is no fee funding. And so what that means is every deal is now more profitable. Deal analysis is now much easier. Closings and closing statements are now simple to understand. You are a much more competitive buyer in your marketplace, and you're now much more confident, and that is a big deal. So realtors, closing agents, sellers, and buyers, they're all going to be in awe of you, which equals credibility and respect within your business and within your marketplace. So all of that, frankly, adds up to you being able to sleep like a baby at night knowing that your funding is free. That's a big deal. And this is a message I got from Brian, who we funded a number of deals for. He says, wow, that's all I can say. Recently, I used Cam's no-fee funding program. He funded a deal that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to get funded, and I made $7,406 in a few short weeks after getting on board with the program. That program being this program that you're evaluating right now. I also have 2 more deals set to close in the next 2 weeks. By the way, fast forward, we did close both of those deals. Was I skeptical? Yes. Was I scared? Yes. But Cameron delivers. So here's some funding frequently asked questions. Does my credit or income matter? Nope, we just covered that. I'm not even going to ask. Is there a limit on the number of deals? Nope, no limit whatsoever, but there is a time limit. When you get on board, that nominal setup charge gets you an unlimited number of deals for 1 full year. Do I need a corporation or an LLC? Now, in order to be compliant, the answer is yes, and we need you to be compliant so that we are compliant. And frankly, you ought to be buying and selling houses in the name of an entity like a corporation or an LLC anyway. It's just the right way to do it for all sorts of reasons. And you know what? I think you probably know that already. How much funding is available? Well, there is a lot. However, we do have a single transaction limit of $600,000. So we'll fund an unlimited number of deals for you, but not any one of them can exceed $600,000. And frankly, if you're doing business on entry-level houses, single-family houses, that's plenty anyway, and that's where the deals are. How can you provide funding with no fees? Well, again, we charge that one-time setup charge, and that's what makes it work. That's what I believe in this pilot program will make it so that we're reasonably profitable at the end of the year. Will this work where I live? Yes, it works in all 50 states. We are funding deals in all 50 states. Our clients don't all live in the U.S., but the deals that we fund all are in the U.S. So if you happen to live outside of the U.S., we will fund deals for you here in the United States. And you guys that are in the U.S., you might find it interesting to know that we have clients in Canada, the UK, Israel, all over Europe that are buying and selling houses in the USA. And that ought to tell you something about the opportunity that's right there in front of you. Whose money is used for the funding? Now, that's an interesting question, and the answer is simple. Mine. This isn't some sort of, 506c private placement memorandum, crowd-funded shareholder, private lender, thing. We use my money for every deal we have funded and we do fund. So that means you're dealing direct with the source, and that means I don't have investors who are expecting some high rate of return on their investment in my fund, which, by the way, if you think about it, is largely how I was able to do this. If I had to pay, or a bunch of interest to investors to keep them happy, do you think I could charge no fees on the funding? It simply wouldn't work. So what makes this work is the fact that we use my money exclusively and no one else's. By the way, you may run around and hear other people talking about their real estate programs and how they've got, your transactional fund. Oh, yeah, I got your transactional funding. You betcha. Yeah, no, they don't. They're going to turn you over to some third party and hope that they take care of you when they really just put that in there to get you to buy their program. I've been asked by many of those guys if I would let them put my funding and proof of funds, which we're going to talk about in a second, in their program, and my answer has always been no. So who should I use to close my deals? If you have a title agent that you like, we'll be happy to work with them. And if you need a referral, we'll get you one. Are you guaranteeing that you'll fund my deal? Well, I can't do that. That would be ridiculous, but I will tell you on same day, next day, transactional funding type deals, we'll do them both until you and I are blue in the face. All we need you to have is an end buyer, a cash buyer ready to take us out. That's what makes this work. Do you provide verifiable proof of funds too? Well, yes, we do. Verifiable proof of funds, and that's required when you're dealing with banks and institutional sellers. Now, some private sellers may ask for it too, but with banks and institutional sellers, you've got to have it. If you don't have it, you don't get to play the game. It's simple as that. But when you do have it, well, your offers get accepted. And so with this program, you get unlimited deal-specific proof of funds letters, a new letter for every offer, and they're all backed by me personally. So what that means to you is my contact information is on the header of that proof of funds letter. And now if the seller or the agent wants to reach out to me to, find out further information or confirm that you're in fact, pre-approved and in good standing, or what's very common is they reach out and ask for a bank statement, well, I'll send it to them. Now, don't get me wrong, I cross out those account numbers, but I will send them a copy of my 7-figure bank account bank statement on your behalf so that your offer is taken more seriously. And this is not something I've delegated to anyone in my organization. I know that you would prefer me, the guy with more than 2 decades of experience investing in real estate, to be the one who's backing you up. And that 7-figure bank account now you're leveraging as if it were your own. That is powerful. So you're going to want to submit this verifiable proof of funds with every offer you make, and then when you do, you'll look like a pro, not a newbie. Don't wait for the seller to ask for it. You know they're going to. Just send it right with the offer, and then think of the credibility this will give you. Now, you've got unlimited use of my verifiable proof of funds system 24/7, 365. It's only used by my clients, by the way, and I've been asked, by others, like I said a minute ago, to let them include it in their program, and I've always said no. But what's really important to you here is that this system, you simply log in to the dashboard, you go to the proof of funds section, you fill out a couple of blanks that are specific to the property, and boom, you have a proof of funds letter that you can send with your offer in soft copy, a PDF, or you can print and send in hard copy. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter if it's Christmas morning or 4 a.m. on a Thursday night. It doesn't matter whether my offices are open or closed. You've got access to this 24/7, 365. And what this means is, because you have unlimited use of it, you can make all the offers you want. All the offers you want. Think about that. I mean, the more offers you make, the more checks you'll cash, bottom line. And by the way, normally this proof of funds I make available separately for $199.99 a month, or call it $200 to round it off, which is $2,400 a year. Well, would it be worth it? If you got one more deal accepted, would it be worth $2,400 to get the access to this proof of funds? You bet it would, but I'm not going to ask you for that. This program comes with a flat setup charge, and with that you get everything, including a full year of my verifiable proof of funds. In fact, here's what you get with the program. You get my vacant house data feed. Now, perhaps you've heard of this. This is a game changer, where you've got access to verified vacant houses. This is an $1,175 value. You get verified vacant houses all across the USA, and our interface looks just like this. This is literally a screenshot where you can see that I looked in Philadelphia. There were 12,300 vacant houses on the day that I took the screenshot, which was frankly just the other day. And then we have all these filters so that you can filter that number down to a more manageable number and literally customize the properties you see to exactly what you want. There are literally 10 or 12 filters in there so that you can make this a very, very fine, granular search when you want to, and do it your way. So here's some examples of cities where I just recently looked, and to give you an idea of how many vacant houses there are. Check it out. Maybe you live in or near one of those. I mean, there is major opportunity. By the way, there are more than 1 million vacant houses hiding in plain sight right now in the USA. Even in small towns like these. Look at this. Tuscaloosa, Bowling Green, Altoona, even little old Corning, New York. Some people might argue there aren't 1,200 houses in Corning. Well, there sure are. And there's 1,243 vacant houses in the greater Corning area. Talk about a small town. Now, this is updated monthly, so you get the freshest leads, and you get extensive information on the property and the owner. Look at this. Here's a detail page on any one of the vacant houses. I just grabbed this one. This is when I happen to be looking in Virginia. Down here, you've got the mortgage balance. We have a calculated mortgage balance in counties where mortgage information is recorded, so we get that for you. Think of the value of that. When you're looking at the difference between the estimated value right above it and the calculated mortgage balance, now you know this is a house with some real serious equity. So we get that for you. In about a third of the cases, we get a phone number for the seller over on the left. And then when you have a matching address like we do here, Horseshoe Drive, well, you can use the skip trace to find this owner. And that's where your competitions are going to go away. They're going to, your competitors are going to go away. They're going to see 1940 Horseshoe Drive is the address of the vacant house, and then they're going to see that the tax assessor lists the owner as living there, and they're going to go away. But not you, because you're going to use the skip trace. I'll show you more about that in a minute. So here's another one. This one's really interesting too. This one's in Florida. Look at this. So we have the street address of the property. This is a condo, and then we have the tax address for the owner over here. So the property's in Reston, Virginia, but the owner is in Fernandina Beach, Florida. But take it a step further. Look at this. This is NCOA data, National Change of Address data, coming directly from the Postal Service because they just recently filed one of those change of address forms. So now we know the owner is in Austin, Texas. So nope, on this one we didn't get a phone number, but boy, we sure know where they are because we've got the most up-to-date information. This is pulling from multiple data sources, and believe me, to have this information at your fingertips is a game changer. So this is available through our simple dashboard environment. We've got push-button direct mail campaigns that are done at my cost, so you can cut your cost of direct mail campaigns down to next to nothing. Comparables for each property, all coming from public record, and so this is a big deal. Now, normally this would be $97.99, or I'll round it to $100 a month. That would bring it to $1,200 a year, again, rounding. But nope, not you, because you get one full year included with the program. So then there's my unlimited verifiable proof of funds that we just talked about. That was a $2,399 value. My no-fee transactional funding, which is priceless, frankly, because if you don't have the money yourself and you can't do the deal any other way than to have me fund it for you, well, then that's certainly priceless. But you're also going to get my cash buyer data feed so that when you're selling your houses wholesale, the very best type of seller is absolutely a cash buyer. This is a $600 value. So here we've got verified cash buyers. You get unlimited access to them all across the USA, in your town certainly, and all across the USA. Tens of thousands of them are added every month. We do update this data source weekly because of the way we collect this data. You can search it freely. You can sort by site address, so now you know where the buyers are buying. And in many cases, you also get their phone number. And just like the vacant house data feed, we have push-button direct mail campaigns at my cost here. And you get phone scripts and marketing pieces that are specific to cash buyers. The vacant house data feed, same thing. Phone scripts and marketing pieces, example mail pieces, letters, postcards, customizable, templated. Even on the vacant house data feed, we were even incorporating yellow letter into that. And this too, available through that same simple dashboard environment. One login gets you access to all of our systems and tools, and they all work together like an integrated suite. So here's the interface for the cash buyer data feed. Looks very simple, mapping, pinning. This particular search I did, a 25-mile radius around this particular zip code, got me 1,460 buyers, just like the other data feed. Those filters to customize this so that you're just seeing the specific cash buyers that you're looking for, given your specifics. So it's like customizable. Then this is a $49.95 value, and I rounded off, call it $600. This is part of the program too, so no monthly fees, none of that. You get one full year included with the program. Then you get access to my iflip business automation software. This is a $960 value, and this is how you're literally going to systemize your business. This is the software on which you will run your business. Now, I flip properties automatically, and you can too. iFlip is the bomb. It is changing people's lives, and it is exactly how you're going to operate your business like a real business. It's a complete hands-off, cloud-based real estate money-making software system. It is your CRM, if you're familiar with that term. This is your real estate CRM. And by the way, you do not need to be a techie to run this. It's set up to be run by anybody, even a technophobe. And that's a cool term, right? iFlip gives you the ability to do business in multiple markets, which increases opportunity. And of course, the data feeds provide you that data all across the USA. So now that's something you can really do. iFlip gives you the ability to manage many deals at once so that you can scale your business and not get caught with a case of one-deal-itis. You know, how many of you guys are doing or have done deals and just can't seem to get it cranked up? Well, this is your solution. Or maybe you've heard about other people doing 1, 2, 5, or 10 deals per month, and you can just barely get an offer made, let alone do even one deal per month. Well, you need to automate your business. You need to simplify the process, and iFlip will do that for you. iFlip will do the heavy lifting so that you can stay focused on generating revenue. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in 2 free tickets to I'm getting ahead of myself. This is my Vacant House and Foreclosure University. This is my online training. This is an in-depth, simple training on flipping houses using the 4 pillars of real estate. And that's what we're talking about here, the 4 pillars of real estate. And it's, where you're using the cash buyer data feed and the vacant house data feed and iflip. You're using them all together. And then you're using my proof of funds and funding to get those deals done. This is a step-by-step training on exactly how to do that. And it is available online via streaming audio and video. And then there's, of course, a training manual with all the scripts and marketing tools that we discussed during this training that you can download and have right at your fingertips. And this is what I was getting at. I also throw in 2 tickets to my live training, which is called the Vacant House and Foreclosure Summit. So this is where you and I get together in person. Now, we only do these 3 or 4 times per year. We do them east, west, and middle. So I don't do a ton of these. It is 3 days of no BS, content-rich, what's working right now training taught by me. So I don't send a surrogate to do this training. That's why I don't do a ton of these, because I am very busy. I don't have a lot of time available, and so we only do this 3 or 4 times a year. But we do spread it out across the country so that, if you're geographically charged, well, you can wait and come to the one near you, or if you're super money motivated, you don't wait, you come to the next one and you jump on an airplane to get there. And by the way, there are no outside selling speakers at this thing. This isn't some pitch fest. I don't do that. So this training is unlike any other. It's taught by me, and it is exactly what's going on right now. And it is your sort of high level speed of implementation type training, where everything else you get with the program will get you started today. But when you come to this training, we're going to take it to the next level. And oh, by the way, we talked about unsupportive spouses and significant others. If you've got one of those, an unsupportive spouse or significant other, bring that person with you to this event. You get 2 tickets. And if after 3 days with me, they haven't turned around and they're not on your team, after 3 days of getting excited and hearing all that I have to share with what's working right now and all the opportunity that's out there, if after all of that they haven't come around and become a cheerleader for you, no, get rid of them. That's all I can say. That's a $997 value. So there it is. That's the total package, $7,126. And I'm not going to ask you for anywhere near that. So enough already, Cam. How much is this thing? Well, here it is, bottom line for you. Normally, the price is $1,997, but I've decided what I'm going to do since you've taken the time. You've been on here with me for 32 minutes now. Since you've taken the time to watch this training, I'm going to cut the price. I'm going to cut it by $500. I'm going to take it down to $1,497, and you get everything. But you'll need to do that right now. And I'm going to tell you in a second how we limit this dramatically. You need to go to www.fliptools.com, to place your order. There you can use Visa, Master, Amex, Discover, or PayPal. And you can place your order, get on board, get instant access using our online secure encrypted system. You literally will have access to this in about the next minute if you go there now and jump on board. If you prefer not to order on the internet, if the interweb is something you're not comfortable with, or for some reason you're not able to do that, no problem. Call us toll free. I've got team members available now. Call us at 888-845-5219. But you're going to want to do it right now, because what I do is I limit every enrollment, I limit to only 15 new people. So I will only accept 15 new people into the program during any given enrollment. Now, I don't know exactly when you're watching this, so there's a chance that there is not an enrollment going on right now, because when we hit 15, we stop, and then we wait until they've been rolled into the system, brought on board, they're up and running, we're funding deals for them, and then we'll open it up for another 15. And the reason we do that, I mentioned earlier, is because I am absolutely unwilling to overwhelm my team, my funding team, my client support team. I won't do it. I will not overwhelm them. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to you. And it would compromise the quality of the support that we provide. And at the end of the day, my reputation rides on the quality of support that we provide. So I won't do it. So head over to that website right now. If you're able to place your order that means we do have at least one position left in a current enrollment. If, however, you go there and you see that this offer is ended, well, then you know that our enrollment is closed and you'll need to wait until we open our next enrollment. So you need to check it out. Get over to fliptools.com right now or call toll-free to make sure that one of these 15 spots is presently available. Again, because this is a recording and I don't know when you're watching this, I can't say for sure that we have an opening or not. I hope you understand that logic. Now, I'm going to throw in some bonuses to make sure this is a super sweet deal. If you're not already over on that website or on the phone, maybe you need nudging off the fence. You're going to get our Tier 2 style premium client support that is USA-based in-house. And so we do not outsource our client support to India or the Philippines or anywhere else because, again, I am unwilling to compromise the quality of our support. I could save a ton of money on payroll by outsourcing this, but I won't do it for the reason I just stated. So imagine the value of being helped by someone whose first language is English and whose name really is Ellie. Imagine that. Well, I think that one's priceless. That's what you get when you get on board with us. Special bonus number 2, remember that matching scenario in the vacant house data feed where you need the skip trace? Well, here you go. I'm going to get you 10 free premium skip trace searches so that you can locate that missing seller and whoop your competition because they won't even know what a skip trace is, let alone where to get one or how to do it. So the bottom line is these are $100 value, and it's something we've been doing for many years. We started providing skip trace services for real estate investors in 2002, and we are the best in the business. You'll get 10 of these with your order, and when you run out, don't worry, we've got more. So this is a $100 value. The next bonus is the CD version of my Vacant House and Foreclosure University. So it's available online, but I also thought, there are some folks who might like to have this on CD so they could listen to it, say, in their car. So I'm going to go ahead and get you this as well. It's on 13 audio CDs. So you can supplement your online training, during your commute while you're in your car. So that's a $997 value. This we will need to send you. It will go out via priority mail. Everything else you've heard about so far is available immediately. Once you're on board, you have immediate access to everything through our simple dashboard. One login and there it all is. The next bonus is also something I'm going to need to mail to you. This is my purchase and sale agreement home study training system. This is on 2 audio CDs, and then there's the document that I literally go through line by line on a document CD. So this is where I take the real estate contract, that scary document, also called the purchase and sale agreement, and I go through it with a fine-tooth comb, every sentence, every paragraph, what's in it, why, what it means to you, and how it affects you as a buyer and how it affects you as a seller. And so you'll get a complete understanding of the agreement and never ever be intimidated by it again. Now, you may use a different agreement because, where you're doing business, they want you to use this one here. Okay, fine. The point is, I'm going to teach you how a Chevy works. I'm going to teach you to drive it. We're going to look under the hood. You're going to understand how it works, why it works, what makes it work, so that if you're using another agreement, that's no different to you than a Ford. And that's the thing. To have a full understanding of this agreement is going to give you massive confidence when you're out there making offers. Big deal. That's $134 value. Then what I'm going to do is I'm also, and this one I got to mail you, although there's a soft copy available within the dashboard, but I'm literally going to mail you in poster form my secret blueprint for success. This is a flow chart of how these deals work step by step so that you know exactly what you need to do next. And if you're a visual learner like most folks, you'll want to put this up above your desk, and you'll find it very helpful because you'll always know where you are in the process, what you just did, what you need to do next, so that you can keep things flowing and make a ton of money. That's the idea. This simplifies that process by giving you a visual reference. $149 value for this. And then the last bonus, I'm going to throw in $1,000 in free food. All you need to do is set up an account. You go online, set up an account. You'll get this certificate in that priority mail package. You go online with your special code. You create an account, and now you can print coupons on the food items that you like, not some junk they're trying to push on you. Literally thousands of food items, and So if you like to eat Jolly Green Giant green beans and Captain Crunch cereal, well, you'll print coupons on those items, the items you like, you take them to the grocery store and you redeem them at the checkout and you get $1,000 in free food. And if they're redeeming at double or triple value, you're going to get a whole bunch more than $1,000 in free food. So your investment is $14.97. Well, here's 2/3 of it back right here in the form of free food. That's a big bonus, and I hope you understand the value of that. So that bonus package, certainly something far greater than $2,000. I just put it down on the list there at that, bringing the total package value here to $9,126. But you need to get over to that special website, fliptools.com, to order right now to make sure you're one of the 15 that we're going to take in this particular enrollment. Or maybe you're listening to this 2 weeks from the day I'm recording it, which is right now, and the enrollment's closed, or I don't know what the timing of your listening to this is, so you got to get over there to see if there's any availability. If you can place your order, then we have at least one spot open in the current enrollment. If you go there to that special webpage and it says this offer is closed, well, then you know that the enrollment's closed and you'll just need to wait till we open our next one. There's a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee on the program. We have the lowest refund rate in the business because of what we offer and the support we provide. But I wouldn't dare make this offer without throwing that in there. And then I put together a 2-payment option. So if $1,497 is more than you can bite off, I get it. Well, I broke it down to 2 payments where I cut the $1,497 in half exactly, $748.50. So there is no upcharge, which is very typical. Instead, what I do is I hold back 2 items. They are the proof of funds and the 10 skip trace searches. And the reason I hold those back is because the proof of funds involves my personal time, and I think it's fair that you get access to my personal time once you're paid in full. And my personal time is where I'm responding to your agents and sellers, by email, by telephone, sending them copies of my bank statement, all of that. Well, that I do not delegate. That's my personal time. And then the other holdback item is the 10 skip trace searches, which was one of the bonuses there. I hold those back until you're paid in full simply because they're very expensive to deliver. And so, when you consider, those are done by hand, by the way. That's not some algorithm that does that. Those are done by hand by a specialist here in my office. And between the cost to have that person here and the data charges, they're expensive. So I'm going to hold that back as well. So you can go to that special website right below, as you can see on your screen, fliptools.com, and choose the 2-payment option and pay just $748.50 now. And then the balance of $748.50 will automatically bill to your credit card in 30 days. Now, if you decide you want to settle up early, no problem. Happy to have you do that. You can call the office or you can log right into the dashboard and you have the option to settle up there anytime. You could settle up at 2 in the morning. And, when my office is closed, you can do that online, and then the proof of funds and 10 skip trace searches, they become instantly available. Our system is very smart. It'll know that you're settled, paid in full, and it'll make those 2 items available for you right then and there without delay. So that option is yours. If you want to settle early, we certainly encourage you to do that. But if not, that's okay. It'll just automatically bill to your credit card in 30 days. So there you have it. That's the entire offer. And you'll want to, again, go to fliptools.com to check for availability. If you see that you can place your order, do that now. That means we have at least one spot open in the current enrollment. Again, this is a recording, so I don't know when you're listening to this and whether there is an open enrollment available now or not. But there's only one way to know, and that's get over to fliptools.com and see if it's available. Or you certainly have the option to call my office toll-free, 888-845-5219. By the way, I often get asked, what does it cost to renew at the end of the year? So if it's $1,497 to get access to everything on your screen, including that awesome bonus package, what does it cost once the year is up to renew? And most people think, well, it must be another $1,497. No! To renew is only $750. So year 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, however long you want to stay on board, your renewal charge is only $750, and that gets you another full year of everything on the screen, including my no-fee transactional funding. How fair is that? I mean, this is like the best offer ever, and it's certainly the most complete offer ever. This is everything you need to begin flipping vacant houses right now. This is the most complete, most comprehensive offer in the business. And the fact that all our tools work together, they're an integrated suite. And this isn't some, patchwork quilt, if you will. This isn't another tool that you need to make everything else work or to make yourself whole. This is everything you need in one package so that you can really put on the blinders and focus and step away from what I sometimes refer to as the shiny object syndrome, where you're distracted by the next great real estate program. Well, get out of that mode. Put on the blinders, put your nose on the grindstone. This is everything you need. Start making big money and watch what happens in your life. That's what this is all about. If you're looking for change in your life, you got to change what you do. And if you're like a dog chasing a rabbit until you see a squirrel, and then you chase the squirrel until you see a car, and then you chase the car until you see another squirrel, I mean, that is the shiny object syndrome. And sadly, a lot of people fall into that. That can come to an abrupt end right here and right now. Get on board with this program and watch what happens. So, thank you very much for your time. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to funding your deals and seeing you have great success. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.